It's Friday. Welcome. Good morning.
It's like nobody's watching.
Nobody was watching for a little bit except me, and it was slightly disturbing. But that's okay.
That's how I dance. I need a dancing coach. Hello, everybody. This is Two Chaps, Many Cultures. This is Friday. Can you believe we've been doing this for 2 weeks now, Brett?
Yes, absolutely. This is wonderful. I love it.
So this week was under the big topic theme of coaching. What have we learned this week, Brett?
We've learned a lot. We've got some questions. We've had some great insights, and we've had some people challenge us, and that's perfect. That's what this is all about. Where this is the table that we offer. We don't own it. We don't control it. It is for the audience, and I think that's important to remember. So, let's just let's look at it through that lens. It's been great. It's been wonderful. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. Because this is the question that I ask my coaching clients, and this is what I would like to ask everybody who's watching this, either live or the replay. What was your biggest win this week? Or maybe you had more than one big win. What worked really well this week? Share that with us here in the comments or up here, whatever platform you're using, wherever the comment field is on your interface. Put it in the comment. Tell us, what was your biggest win? What was your biggest win, Brett?
I started a project, and it's excited me to continue it. As I'm moving into a role of leadership later this year with CTA USA as their president. I'm very honoured to do so. I've decided that it is probably incumbent on me, as somebody who's moving into that role, to reach out and be more engaged with the membership. And I kind of took the reins yesterday, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit. The other time that I normally would sit and probably just contemplate my navel, I sat and I just started sending messages to people in the group that we have on LinkedIn, which is, LinkedIn is really a powerful tool, but it is an underutilized one, at least for us as an organization. And I went through probably a couple of hundred different people that were on there, and I sent them personal messages from me to welcome them and say, this is an invite, and saying to them, this is your platform, please be an active member in it. And I got so much wonderful response. It is just a fantastic. It certainly encouraged me and put my faith back in to this possibility of connectedness in this world. And great.
Sounds like your leadership approach is one of being of service to the members rather than telling them what to do.
That's what it's kind of what I've always done, but I want to really practice it more. And I think the response I got was so overwhelmingly positive. And also brought in some questions that are relevant to what we do, and it was great. Yes, I think the servant leadership is something that I enjoy. I just think that should be a part of what we do.
Nice. Well, let me share a win that I had. It wasn't necessarily a personal win, but it is because she's my oldest daughter. So my oldest daughter just started a summer job this week. This is awesome. I'm not saying I'm getting her out of the house, but she's making her own money. This is great.
No, nothing like
that. and take this. She's starting her shift at 5 a.m. So that means she has to leave the house because she needs to drive there at, 4:15. I don't even hear her leave. This is awesome. So that's a great win for a parent who sees the fruits of his parenting come to fruition. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. Oh.
So now, Brett, while we're removing this banner just for a second, but please be reminded, share with us your biggest wins of the week. However, Brett, you've been approached by somebody after yesterday's episode about the coaching world and how that applies to her. So want to share what the question was?
Sure. And we wanted to talk about, just to wrap this week up, in talking about coaching as it applies to our field, right? The way it applies to our field. And many coaching engagements can come out of what you already do as a trainer. We talked about the difference between training, mentoring, and coaching. But as a trainer, oftentimes you will spark this idea in somebody's mind that this great learning about the culture that I'm going to and the one that I have to successfully lead and engage in is going to be a longer process than I thought it was. The one hit, there's plenty of people that go, great, that was a good package, thank you very much, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take the knowledge, I think I can apply it. But the other, there is a small amount of clients that say, how do I get more access? How do I get more information? What happens if, just as we talk about, that I forget some of this stuff and a situation comes up? And so often in this field, that's how it applies. And I think our colleagues should be aware and watch for the signs that clients are actually starting to give them the signals that I want more of this, right? And after all, this is a business, and we do make our living out of this. And this is not a shameful thing to say. This is commerce, and it's to say, but you're also like, it's a servant leadership. It's also saying, I've got more of this to give you, right? And people are quite willing to pay for it, and it has some real deep impact for them. Some of my most rewarding coaching engagements have come out of training clients, and then
I would agree, because when I started out in the cross-cultural, intercultural training field, I often left a training engagement when it was for mobility, for expatriate clients usually, and usually it was not just the client, it was the whole household, whether it be a spouse and maybe children or other dependents. Usually the training engagement left on a somewhat sad departing note, because, oh yeah, so we spent a cool day or two together, and now probably won't see each other again. And there's so much that actually we built a connection, we established rapport with each other, and it was only towards the second half that you, as the client, as the training participant, really began opening up about the knowledge and the information that I was sharing with you. It's often this, dang it, I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
Or how do I stay in touch, or how do I tap into your experience in half a year? So this is what prompted, at least in my practice, that what was prompting the thought process. Hey, maybe I can restructure some of the offering to our clients. And usually it's not the expatriate that comes to us and says, hey, I need cultural training. It's usually their employer. So we've been having these conversations with global companies or multinational organizations and saying, listen, I understand that it's hard for you to pull an employee for a day or two out of their daily routine and have them sit down with an external trainer like us. Here's a different model. Let's break this up. There's so much information and so much guidance that we can give you and your expatriate population. It doesn't have to be force-fed in a 1 or 2 day program. We can split this up over time. We can do a half day here and then a couple of 90-minute sessions further down the road, and we stagger this out over the course of 3, 4, 5 months, depending on what it is that you would like to accomplish for your employee. So that's how it began. And I have to say, I don't know what it is like in your practice, Brett, but in my practice, most of our clients go for the let's space it out format rather than let's have a one-off application and then tap on the back and good luck to you on your 3-year assignment. Our clients have responded well to rearranging this isn't probably not the right word, restructuring how we work with our clients. For us, it's become a hybrid. So there's training, which is the delivery of knowledge, new information, and then there is the coaching part, during which we guide the coachee or the trainee or the client, if you will, to apply this information and make it theirs, and not just some theoretic construct that they learned from a trainer that they met last week, right? Yeah. So that's been our story, and we've seen great results with that. Our clients are happier because of that. They come back and they say, hey, you've worked with this client in the past, can you do this for our next employee? So builds more, how do I say, builds more long-term relationships with clients.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got some of my great friendships out of the clients that I've worked with and built that rapport with them, and that morphs into something else. I mean, another example of how you kind of pivot from this is that obviously we also do a lot of work with our colleagues in this field. We share information. We're all about sharing and giving and opening up the stepping from behind the curtain and saying, this is what we do. It's not what you should do, but it's what we do and it's working. So here we got cultural training, follow-up coaching is opportunity to keep this relationship going. To where I hook and book and a new one of my clients. This is great. So this is a great point, right? You can leverage those wonderful connections, the wonderful, and Patricia's a classic example of this, that can create such a wonderful connection with somebody through her style and her knowledge, and be able to take that forward. Yesterday, as part of my comments that were coming in, I've got a question like this, and I found myself kind of thinking about how would I approach this. If somebody has been doing something in this certain period of time, it's been successful, and then all of a sudden life changes and the world changes as we've gone through, I found myself kind of, how do I respond to a question like this? So is this if I'm in a training room, I would say, okay, this is what I think you should do. This is what I think you.
Let's read out the question, because we may have listeners who don't see what we show here on the screen. So the question is, I have been doing relocation assistance and intercultural training. I'm pivoting my teaching career to communications and or coaching. Both of these jobs have dried up given the situation with COVID-19. So what to do, I guess, is the implied question here, right? That
was we're kind of limited with characters in this in this format. So I found myself saying, well, I kind of know what I would do, and I started to think, and I started to write a response and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, right? This is a typical kind of training type of approach, that this is what's worked for other people. But then I thought, that's not what might work for this person. I don't know this person. I don't know them yet. I haven't had the chance to speak to them and build that connection. So really, I invite them to reflect on what is their core skill set. What have they found? Like in terms of relocation assistance, somebody who actually picks somebody up from an airport, a family up from an airport, and drives them around, and gives them, tells them where the bank is and the schools are, and shows and connects with real estate people. I think that would be one. I've never done it, but I think it'd be wonderful. What a great opportunity to sit with another fellow human being that is got deer in the headlights. They're in a completely foreign place. They're in a completely different environment. But what a great time to reflect and maybe tell the stories of those experiences that you've had. And I would read that every single day. I would love that. Now if this person has got that passion and ability to write in that cogent manner that relates that story quite well, then I would read it all the time. So that creates awareness for the drawing on the experience and we mentioned this earlier in the week. It's about drawing out the abilities and the experiences of the person that they already have, not to invent something new for them to do. So anyway, that's just an example of how I would approach it. And again, I'm just one person, so I'm not that.
And I find that with the younger generations of global professionals coming into these roles, the expectation around how that service will be delivered is changing or morphing. Right. So it used to be that I dealt with baby boomers and fellow Generation Xers, and they expected there to be a more formalized solution. With the millennials' advent into the global workforce, it has been a completely different ballgame. And it behooves any of us in our field, no matter what our age is, to get with the times. And be able to respond to how our clients are willing to receive information, willing to learn, and willing to engage with somebody who has been down that path before. And it's been a refreshing learning experience for me as well, because I I'm continuously adjusting, and I'm recognizing that some of my approaches of the past may not be as efficient in today's market. Oh, look at this. Quasi is giving us a thumbs up. Thank you, Quasi. You've been with us for all week. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Quasi will understand this. I've actually got my Milo on the side, and for those that don't know what Milo is, Quasi pronounces it Milo. I pronounce it Milo. You say tomato, I say tomato, and it is a milk malt drink that, strangely enough, from my country of Australia, and they share it in a lot of what I found out, a lot of countries in Africa and also South America. So I just want to mention that, Quasi, just to make you a little bit jealous, if that's okay.
Well, don't we have a global audience here, Quasi, and we've got our French friend in Florida. That's a nice alliteration, our French friend in Florida. Patricia is on here. That's awesome. Well, thank you all for being with us. We love doing this, and we still want to hear from you. So in the chat box, whether it's now, maybe you need a minute to contemplate this, maybe you don't want to share it publicly, you can DM us or email us or tweet at us or whatever it is you do. I'm not on TikTok though, so you cannot sing and dance it to me. But share with us, what is your biggest win this week? What was it? And if I may nudge you a little bit, if I may encourage you, if you share it publicly, you might actually get applause from people you've never met.
That's right.
Revel in the excitement and the warmth and encouragement of a standing ovation from the interwebs, because only if we acknowledge our wins, only if we celebrate them, will it create a memory that will drive us on to the next win, right? So you want to use that energy and help you glide and float to the next win, because guess what? After this weekend, there'll be a next week to get new wins, all right?
They certainly will.
So share with us your biggest wins. So what's Quasi saying here? Yes, Milo, not Milo.
I'm coming for my mug.
Tomato. No, I wish I spoke French. She's laughing. J'étais.
And in Polish, that would be...
Patricia, please translate for us. I don't understand. I don't speak French. Sorry.
Now, see, in Polish, there is an equivalent of that. There'd be jete.
Maybe she's trying to speak Polish.
Maybe that's Polish. Well done. Maybe we're misinterpreting. I mean, the thing about the wonderful Patricia Coleman is that there's so many languages in her. There's Spanish, and there's Spanish and French and English, and and then she'll crack into something wonderful.
Dangerously, she also speaks a bit of German, which yeah. That's yeah. So schönes Wochenende. Have a bon weekend, I guess, is the official French word. Bon fin de semaine. Buen fin de semana. I think that's all I can say. What is it in Polish?
You caught me.
There you go.
Jest było w tym tygodniu było bardzo dobrze. Bardzo dobrze. Dziękuję bardzo na wszystkie. I do widzenia. I have a wonderful weekend. And also
that was a long word. No, it was a whole sentence.
Well, most things in Polish are long. As I said, there is this sense that the Polish made a whole language out of the last 4 letters of the alphabet, but all the words are very long, right? and there's not a lot of vowels. But anyway, that's why they're early in the morning, and I've got to get my lips going. I've got to have my Milo.
Yes, drink more Milo.
Drink more Milo.
And I shall get me my espresso to get me fueled for the Friday. All right, there's a win. Here we go. Patricia has a win for us. She was part of the many individuals, groups, and universities fighting the Trump ban on F1 visas for international students, and the ban has been reversed. So that's a win for Patricia. So high five through the camera screen, and good on you.
That's great news, because Patricia does a lot of wonderful work with international students, and I know that she inspires them so much, and they are in such great hands in that. It's fantastic, and yes, that was a big win this week for everybody, is to see that was reversed, and we can give some continuity and some security to the wonderful leaders of the future. These are global leaders of the future. This is a whole other episode. Global leaders of the future. We will depend on to take this world into a new and bright future. So
sounds like a topic for a future week.
Absolutely. All right.
In that spirit, I would encourage everyone, no matter where in the world you are, be safe, stay safe, protect yourselves, protect others. Doesn't matter how healthy you are or how healthy you think you are. Make sure that you're conscientious of your surroundings, and be safe, everybody, and take care of you, take care of your immediate circles, and be a good human. Or as they say in Yiddish, be a good mensch.
Be a good mensch. Yes, that's right.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Kindness is king.